Your legal launchpad.
Welcome back to your Legal Launchpad. Today I have with me Professor Dorosin, the Director of the Legal Clinic and Field Placements here at the College of Law. How are you?
I couldn't be any better. How are you?
I'm doing good right now, actually.
Great.
So to start us off, can you give me a brief history of your background and what drove you to this path of law?
Sure. I got my sort of political awakening when I was in college. I got real involved with the anti-apartheid movement in the 80s. And out of that, realized I wanted to pursue a career that would make an impact on society and address inequalities that I observed, in my own life and in the life of people I knew. And I thought actually at that time becoming a lawyer would be a real sellout. So I became a high school teacher. I taught high school for a while in a rural school in North Carolina. And that experience really brought home to me the impacts of institutional racism and discrimination, particularly in the education context. But I'd also, raise my consciousness about it generally. And so I decided that I wanted to dedicate my life and career to the struggle for racial justice and Black liberation, and determined that law school would be the way to do that. So I went to law school with the intent of becoming a civil rights lawyer. I didn't really know how I would do that, but that was the plan. And from the time I graduated, started working, doing civil rights, started out doing employment discrimination and constitutional law. Then that branched out to representing folks dealing with issues related to housing discrimination, racial inequities in schools, voting rights, and just spent the last 30 years really engaged in the range of civil rights advocacy and litigation, focusing on community-based advocacy, on all of the impacts of institutional discrimination that individuals, families, and communities face. So really how our legacy of racial injustice impacts every aspect of the lives of people of color. And spent a lot of time working with students in that process, mentoring students, had a lot of mentors myself coming up, and realized at a certain point after about 30 years, it was time to do things a little different, and realized I wanted to devote my energies full time to raising the next generation of civil rights lawyers. And there was no better opportunity or place to do that than at Florida A&M. So I came here in 2021 and have been doing that work in this context ever since.
Oh, that is amazing. Thank you for all you do for us in our community. So my next question is, can you explain experiential learning for those who may not know?
So law school, most of the time you spend in law school, as you know, is spent in classrooms and lecture halls, really listening to professors discourse about substantive aspects of law, whether it's property or contracts or evidence or criminal law. And the experiential component of our education is providing an avenue for students to take that classroom experience and actually see how it works in practice by working, representing actual clients, community members who need legal assistance, working either through in-house clinics or through externship programs where they're working under the supervision of attorneys who are actually practicing and become teachers and mentors in the real life field. It's very different studying law in a classroom and then seeing how it applies and how it impacts people in their day-to-day lives. Mm-hmm. And so the experiential education is part of the law school experience to kind of meld the academic aspects with the real practice aspects of becoming a lawyer.
Oh, that's amazing. So here at the law school, can you tell us the different experiential learning opportunities that are offered?
At FAMU, students are required to get 6 credits of experiential learning to graduate. They should take more, and they can, but we have the primary experiential opportunities here at FAM are our in-house clinical program, our field placement program, and then what we call our skills-based classes. So the clinics here at the law school, we have a clinic program that really runs like a little nonprofit law office right here in the law school. We have 3 in-house clinics that students can enroll in. We have a mediation clinic Now, in that clinic, students don't actually represent clients. They serve as mediators, though, in real cases, referred to the clinic by the courts, and work under the supervision of clinic faculty to mediate those cases. And through that clinic, through the semester, students can actually end and become county certified mediators in Florida. We have a guardian ad litem clinic. In that clinic, students represent children who have been removed from their homes because of abuse, neglect, or dependency. So in those cases where there's been a child removal, the legal proceedings are complex. The moms have an attorney, the dads have an attorney, the state has an attorney. Our students in the guardian ad litem clinic represent the best interests of the children in those cases. And those students get to speak in court, get to testify on behalf of the children. They get to go out and they do site visits. They check with, they do home evaluations. They interview caregivers, doctors, teachers, in order to provide the court with a picture of what's in the best interest of the children. Then our third clinic is the one I teach, the Economic Justice Clinic. That clinic, I should say, the cases in the guardian ad litem clinic are also referred by the court. In the Economic Justice Clinic, that's our only truly outward-facing clinic. That is, we get clients who just need legal help. They just call us up and say, this is my situation. Our clinic is focused on addressing the continuing impact of the racial wealth gap in Central Florida. And so we represent entrepreneurs, small businesses, people who want to start small businesses, and nonprofits that are working in under-resourced and marginalized communities to try to build wealth in those communities. So we do everything from, or the students in that clinic do everything from helping an entrepreneur form a business, helping a nonprofit get its tax exempt status, helping draft contracts, helping with financing issues, tax issues, licensing, permitting, really any legal issue that a business might have, but specifically targeted to businesses and entrepreneurs who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford legal services.
That is a wide range of opportunities to help students.
And then the field placement program, just to follow up, is a program where it's very similar, except instead of being in-house in the law school, students are doing work directly with licensed Florida attorneys out in the field. So we have field placement opportunities, externships, where students can work with private law firms, they can work with public defender's office, state attorney's offices, they can work with government agencies, really nonprofits, the whole range of legal experiences. And it gives students a chance, again, to put their academic skills into practice and to explore different avenues of work they might be interested in.
Oh, that is actually perfect. So the last question I have for you today is, can you please give us some insight into the heirs property project and how the school became involved with it?
Sure. Heirs property is, I don't want to make it into a property class, but one of the biggest issues that has contributed to the wealth gap between blacks and whites in America has been the inability to pass on wealth. And the most common way that's done in America is through the ownership of land. And because of, again, the long history of race discrimination in this country, Black families have been systematically deprived of the land ownership that they acquired, during Reconstruction in the early part of the 20th century. And it's because of extra-legal manipulation, because of lack of access to legal resources, because of predatory actions by real estate developers and real estate agents. We have seen over the last 100 years the real loss of African American property, primarily because folks who didn't have a will, their ownership of their property became fragmented. So we have what that means is it becomes much harder for a family to realize the value of that asset. The heirs property project is designed to do two things. One, help remedy existing heirs property, and two, help prevent it going forward. So we've partnered with a group in Eatonville, and we have student volunteers who have been working with the Community Development Corporation there and Community Legal Services to help those families address their issues related to their property. It's a very exciting project, and it will make a significant difference in addressing the kind of inequities we're committed to here at FAMU.
That is amazing. Thank you for being with us here today.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Your Legal Launchpad by Florida A&M University College of Law. Origin, Jasmine Sutherland. Hosts, Amber Newsom and Jasmine Sutherland. Producers, Crystal Eugene, Cynthia Germain, Kayla Joseph, and Leanna O'Sullivan. Camera, Kayla Joseph and Leanna O'Sullivan. Audio, Riley Gibson. Set design, Crystal Eugene and Cynthia Germain. Editing, Riley Gibson. Intro voice actress, Brichet DeVault. Credits voice actor, Riley Gibson. Executive producers, Mildred Graham and Robin Holmes.
Hey, it's Amber. Thank you for tuning in to your Legal Launchpad. Stay tuned for the next episode. We will be discussing careers and professionalism with Associate Dean Randolph Relaford. See ya.